Hey, what's up, guys? This is John from No Space Productions, and I'm bringing you another little synthesis tutorial. This time with another one of Ableton's stock plugins, Analog. And today I'm going to be showing you how I use Analog to make pad instruments. So this is what you get when you first pull up Analog. I haven't changed anything yet, so let's hear what it sounds like. So it's a little bit boring. It's just two saw oscillators right now. We're actually going to keep it on saw. But the first thing I do to make my sounds a little bit more rich in texture is I go to the second oscillator here, and I take the detune, and I kind of just give it a little bit of detune. And to my ears, that's already so much more interesting. So if you look here, I'm gonna go back to the first oscillator. You have a sub sync mode. If you add sub to it, you're literally adding a sub oscillator, so you hear that lower note. Sync is like an FM synthesis thing where you oscillate the oscillator with itself. So let's hear what that sounds like. I think we're going to do sub for this one. And it's very important to note that I'm doing the sub on the oscillator that's not out of tune. You don't want a sub that's out of tune. You want your sub to be the actual note, and you want to keep the second oscillator out of tune. Okay, so let's take a look at our filter. We're gonna keep it on low pass, 24 decibels, and I'm just gonna take it a little bit down to like 7.8K and put the resolution up a little bit. We can go a little bit farther. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our the attack of our the filter, and we're just gonna make it a little bit slower. You can mess around with some of these drives. To be honest with you, I'm not really a fan of these drives. So I'm going to keep it off. So let's go over to our amplitude now. And it's the same thing. I like to take the attack and actually put this one on linear. Take the attack and just make it a little bit slower. You can go over some really dramatic stuff by making it really slow. If you don't want that, like, you hear that how it keeps going even after I put it off, you can take the release and you can just put it at 0. Okay, so that's all simple. Let's go to our LFO now. And put it on, this is your first LFO, put it on retrigger. If you don't put it on retrigger, it's going to be really hard to play the instrument with it sounding consistent. So you want the LFO to like basically restart at the beginning every time you press a new key. So what I like to do is, one of my favorite things is to take the LFO and oscillate it with the pan mod. So you're going to want to go to here, the pan mod, and bring it up just slightly. We'll do like, so you hear how it's moving. If you're wearing headphones or you have some kind of stereo setup, you should be able to hear that moving from speaker to speaker. It's a really useful production tip, especially when you have like something really important in the middle of the panorama, like vocals or something that's getting like muddy and lost, when you have your pads and instruments panned out and or even moving, it makes it sound more interesting, but it also gives like your vocals space in the mix. So let's take the second LFO now. I'm gonna put this one on triangle, also on retrigger. Let's see. And I'm gonna warp the pitch of the second oscillator just a little bit. Just a little tiny bit. You don't want to go too overboard with that. Hear what it sounds like on the sine wave instead of the triangle. Okay, I really like how that sounds. So the last thing we can look at over here is the vibrato and the unison. So if you don't know what vibrato is, it's basically just like think about when a violin player like bows a note, and like the pitch goes in and out of tune. That's what vibrato is when they bend their note with the finger. So you can do that in here too. You have the percentage. And you have the frequency. So you want to keep the frequency like pretty low. And this next thing over here is called unison, and it can be pretty useful. I don't use it too much, but let's hear what it sounds like. Basically, it's kind of like what I did over here with the detune, but this time, instead of just detuning one voice, you're actually detuning a bunch of voices. So we can actually add a couple more. Let's add 4 voices. Let's go back to 2. So that's something you can do. I'm not going to do too much of it. I'm going to do a tiny bit. But yeah, that's basically how I make pad sounds with analog. Thanks for watching, guys.